everyone, welcome to the channel. So in this video today, we're going to be looking at keeping vampire crabs with shrimp. So there's a few things you need to take into account when doing this, and it is possible to keep them, but you need to do it the right way. First up, and most importantly, you need to make sure you're keeping the right species of shrimp with your vampire crabs. So make sure you're keeping Neocaridina shrimp and not Caridina shrimp. The Caridina species have vastly different water parameter requirements, so they can't be kept with vampire crabs. However, the Neocaridina shrimp share very similar water parameters, and they can be kept with vampire crabs really easily. Here are the requirements up on the screen now. So for vampire crabs, you're looking at these requirements here on the top half of the screen. So temperature between 22 and 28 degrees Celsius, pH around 7.5 to 8. Anything acidic doesn't work well because they need hard water. KH between 0 and 10, GH between 4 and 16, TDS between 150 and 200. But depending on your crabs and the genetics, you can go way higher. I've got my crabs at the moment in I think it's about 800. So you can go quite high. They don't seem to be bothered too much by this. However, this is where shrimp can be a little bit tricky, but we'll go back over that in a second. For the crabs, humidity above 75% and a nitrate lower than 20 parts per million. And for the shrimp, we've got a temperature range between 22 and 29, pH of 6.5 to 8. So that's one of the lower differences there. The pH for the shrimp is a little bit lower, but you can obviously keep them higher. So this is where you can coexist. KH between 2 and 6. Again, this fits within the range of vampire crabs, and a GH between 6 and 8. Again, that fits in with vampire crabs. And going back to TDS, we've got 150 to 200. So again, shrimp can go a lot higher than this. I've kept them in above 1,000. Again, it depends on the genetics. So if you do plan on getting shrimp, try to get them locally if you're using tap water. They're going to be acclimated very similar for your water. So this just makes life a lot easier. Humidity doesn't affect the shrimp, and nitrates, again, lower than 20 parts per million. So just pause the screen here, have a quick look at what the requirements are, and you'll see you can keep both these species within their ranges quite easily. So this is the first and most important thing. The second most important thing to keeping your shrimp alive and doing well is to make sure you have a nice detailed environment for them. So make sure you've got some sticks, logs, moss, rocks, whatever. Just try and get it as nice as possible for the shrimp so you accommodate their needs as well. While the crabs are generally too slow to catch the shrimp, they will continually try to eat them. So it's always good to make sure the shrimp have places to hide and rest should they need to. I recently done a test with 2 cherry shrimp in my main vampire crab paludarium. I had those 2 male shrimp in there for about 10 months and they survived the entire time. So that water section is about 1 meter long by about 15 centimeters by about 10 centimeters. So really long, quite shallow, and not all that wide. So those 2 shrimp were in there for about 10 months with a huge colony of crabs, and they survived perfectly fine. So while I did see the crabs trying to eat them quite often, the shrimp are just way too fast. The only time you'll probably see your vampire crabs eating shrimp is if they got really lucky, if the shrimp was sick, or if the shrimp has died. So they're pretty much the 2 scenarios that you'll see the situation where a vampire crab is eating the shrimp. Outside of that, if you have too small of an area, the crabs will be able to corner them, because the shrimp won't have anywhere to go, and that's how they'll catch them. I've even seen the crabs sit really still and wait for the shrimp to climb on top of them, even right onto their claws before they make a move, and the shrimp was still too fast and the crabs miss out every single time. While I had a 100% success rate with the 2 shrimp that I had in my tank, it is a little bit unethical because shrimp are generally a social species, so they like to be around company and stuff. So when you do add shrimp to your tank, try to get at least 10 or 15 of them. 20 is probably a better number. However, if you're worried about the crabs eating them still and you're not 100% sure, just get yourself some nice cheap culls. So these are generally really low grade shrimp. You can pick them up for less than $1 usually, so 50 cents or something. I suggest starting with these shrimp, introducing them to your tank and seeing how they go. If you get a good survival rate, you can swap them out for some really high grade stuff or whatever other kind of shrimp you want. Overall, I've had far more success keeping shrimp with vampire crabs than with betta fish. Betta fish can be a bit temperamental. Sometimes they're great, they can be great for a long time, and then all of a sudden they get murderous and start eating everything. So you don't have to worry about that with vampire crabs. They always have the same temperament. They're always trying to eat the shrimp. They're just way too slow. Anyway, that pretty much wraps up this guide. If you have any questions or if you think I missed something, just let me know in the comments and I'll get back to you. As always, thanks for watching everyone. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you on another video. Cheers everyone.